BingX, a trusted global crypto exchange. Trade spot, futures, or copy top traders easily. Sign up via the link or referral code to get 30 USDT instantly, plus up to 1,500 USDT in bonuses for verification, deposit, and trading.
Egypt is reportedly poised to spearhead a multinational stabilization force within Gaza, a significant development emerging from discussions among diplomats. A United Nations Security Council resolution, supported by European and U.S. interests, is in the final stages of preparation. This resolution aims to grant the proposed international force robust powers to maintain security inside the war-torn Gaza Strip. The expectation is high that Egypt will assume leadership of this crucial mission, signaling a pivotal moment in the region's ongoing instability. The United States, in particular, is advocating for this force to operate under a UN mandate, though it will not be a fully constituted UN peacekeeping operation. Instead, it is envisioned to wield powers akin to those granted to international troops deployed in Haiti to combat armed criminal gangs, suggesting a more direct and assertive approach to security. While Egypt is being strongly considered for leadership, other nations like Turkey, Indonesia, and Azerbaijan are also being discussed as significant troop contributors, highlighting a broader international commitment. Consultations are ongoing with Egypt regarding the precise nature of the operation, specifically whether it should be a fully UN-led endeavor. Notably, European and British troops are not anticipated to be involved in frontline roles. However, Britain has dispatched advisors to a dedicated cell managed by the U.S. within Israel, actively working on the implementation of the second phase of a comprehensive 20-point plan initially developed by former U.S. President Donald Trump. The British government is emphasizing that the ultimate objective remains the establishment of a Palestinian state, a unified entity that would eventually encompass the West Bank and East Jerusalem. The UK has already initiated training for a contingent of Palestinian police forces, but under the current proposals, the international force would hold primary responsibility for security. Should this international force prove effective in its mandate, further Israeli withdrawals from Gaza are anticipated. Nevertheless, Israel has indicated its intention to maintain a substantial buffer zone under Israeli control as a protective measure against potential future attacks by Hamas. British diplomats acknowledge that the decommissioning of Hamas weaponry presents the most formidable challenge. Ideas are being drawn from the peace process in Northern Ireland, where weapons from both the Provisional IRA and loyalist paramilitary groups were rendered unusable, often with the oversight of an independent verification body. It is highly probable that Hamas will only agree to surrender its weapons to a Palestinian-led entity, aiming to minimize any perception of capitulation. However, third-party verification mechanisms could be employed to reassure Israel of the process's integrity. The initial phase of disarmament is expected to focus on Hamas's heavy weaponry and missile launchers, with the more complex and sensitive issue of personal firearms held by Hamas fighters deferred for later consideration. The United Kingdom appears to be fully endorsing the participation of former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair on a proposed oversight board, referred to within Trump's plan as the Board of Peace. This board would be tasked with guiding the work of a 15-member committee composed of Palestinian technocrats. Tony Blair, whose legacy in the Middle East is complex, particularly following his support for the 2003 U.S. invasion of Iraq, has garnered significant backing from the current Prime Minister of Iraq, Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. In a statement to CNBC, Prime Minister al-Sudani described Blair as an acceptable and friendly figure to Iraqis, acknowledging his past role in the decision to wage war and overthrow Saddam Hussein's regime. He further characterized Blair as a great friend who frequently visits Iraq, expressing a wish for his success in his new mission and pledging Iraqi support. Blair's specific role on the board, which is expected to be chaired by Donald Trump, is anticipated to be clarified by the second week of November. This timeframe coincides with Egypt's hosting of a major Gaza reconstruction conference in Cairo, an event designed to convene a broad spectrum of international donors and secure private sector investment. The UK anticipates that the immense financial needs, estimated to exceed $67 billion, will necessitate the involvement of private finance alongside contributions from Gulf nations. Officials acknowledge that the precise relationship between the Palestinian Authority and this proposed Board of Peace requires further definition. In a separate but related development, The International Court of Justice in The Hague is expected next Wednesday to rule against Israel regarding its cessation of cooperation with UN aid agencies, including the primary Palestinian Relief Organization, UNRWA. This anticipated ruling stems from a request for an advisory opinion initiated by Norway and supported by a UN Security Council resolution. The court's judges will have an opportunity to reiterate Israel's legal obligations as an occupying power to provide aid to the population of Gaza, highlighting a